Today we're going to focus a little bit more on lower body and with quite a bit of rotation as well. So we're going to play with that to hopefully make your hips feel wonderful and also attack a little bit of that low back. Hope you enjoy. So we're going to start with lying onto our backs. So just coming into Shavasana, I want you just to really kind of let the limbs come a little bit further away so that they're not touching one another or the body. And just gently close your eyes. And just taking these first couple moments to really just connect with the mind, the body, and your breath. Really relaxing through the whole face, so relaxing through that jawline, the brow. Let the shoulders sink back. And then you can either stay here or I invite you to place your hands, kind of placing them onto the lower rib cage as well as onto the belly. So you're going to spread the fingers a little bit wide, and maybe the thumbs are touching the rib cage and then the rest of the fingers are on the belly. So you can kind of really feel that expansion through the rib cage and into the belly. And just nice, deep and even breath, breathing in and out through the nose. You can just gently place the hands beside the body. And just taking, again, a couple moments to maybe set an intention for your practice today. And just recognizing that it's perfectly normal for our mind to wander during our practice, and really you're just observing that your mind has wandered and maybe come back to that intention you set right now. I'm just going to gently start to open your eyes. And then we're going to place our arms just at T position. So arms will be placed just at shoulder height. We can place palms down. And then we're going to bend at the knees, placing the feet onto the mat. From here, I want you to keep the feet together. And we're just going to have find a rotation from the lower body, or starting from the lower body. We're just going to take the knees to the right, nice and slow, swapping over to the left. And you'll notice that maybe one shoulder comes off the mat. That's perfectly fine. Just nice and slow back and forth. Coming to center, we're going to do the same thing, but what we'll do is as we rotate to the one side, we're going to start to kick the top leg over. So what we'll do is we'll take the legs over, so knees are bent, we take them over to the right, and then we're going to kick the left leg, pushing through the heel and maybe lifting the leg a little bit closer towards the top of our body. Bring the legs to match, and then knees bent, we take it to the other side, we do the same thing. Again, pushing through the heel, back to center. So we're going to do this 3 more times on each side. Nice and slow. We're just hitting that last one. We're going to meet back into center. From here, we're going to take the left ankle, we're going to cross it over onto the right thigh, and then we're going to drop the legs over to the left side, taking a breath or two here. You're going to get a nice stretch into that right side, outer hip, into that TFL a little bit. Let's come back to center. We take the right ankle, cross it over the left leg, and then dropping the legs over to the right side. And then you're going to do this 2 more times on each side, just swapping each time. Maybe taking a breath or two here. And we're going to meet back into center. Both feet are onto the mat. We can place our arms just beside the body now. And then we're going to start with the right side. We're going to bend at the knee, lift the right foot off the mat, interlace the fingers behind the thigh. Feel free to use a strap here if you need a little bit more space. And we're going to work the right leg towards straight. So we're going to start with the knee bent, and then we're going to start to push through the heel, reach the toes towards that right knee, and then bend again, point the toe. So you're going to repeat this 4 times, working that leg towards straight. Again, some of us might not make it to straight. That's perfectly fine. We're just kind of getting a little bit of that stretch into the hamstring. Kind of further up that whole chain. Push through that heel as best you can. 1 more. And then we're going to swap to the other side. Again, interlace the fingers behind the left leg this time. And you go about 4 or 5 repetitions. Place that foot back onto the mat. I'm going to invite you, if you have a block, you can also use maybe a small pillow or something to maybe lift the head up. You can do this without as well, but I find this is a bit more comfortable. And we kind of keep that whole spine in line. We're going to work with some more rotation here. So we're going to start onto our right side. And I'm going to place this a little bit closer. And you want it so that there's space behind you for that as we start to roll open here, that your head is supported the whole time. So we'll start head onto the block. We're going to have our right arm out. We're going to bend the knees about 90. It doesn't have to be exact, but we do want to make sure that the knees are stacked as well as the hip is stacked. So we keep that length through the torso. We're going to take the right hand onto the left thighs. From here, we're going to take our left hand. We're going to reach forward. And we're going to go through midline as if we're opening up the book, our book. Reach through, fingers towards the left. Even take your eyes and just kind of gaze at the hand and follow through all the way back. Good. And maybe this time we can start to press through the heel of the hand as we open up again. Take the eyes with the hand and then back across. We're going to do this 3 more times. Nice and slow. Great, we're going to stay in this open position. I want you to bend at the elbow. Your palm is facing up to the sky. And then from here, we're going to reach the fingers over, kind of above the head, and then pull the elbow back down. Good, we're doing this 3 times. Reach overhead. Nice big inhale, exhale, draw that elbow in towards the body. 1 more time. And squeeze down. Good, we're going to straighten the arm again as if it's in T position. And then I want you to think about almost making a snow angel. And you're going to use your eyes here. So look at that left hand. And you're going to start to take the arm overhead and sweep all the way back to the right side. And almost trace again, taking the eyes across with that left hand, opening up into that open book position. You're going to do that snow angel 2 more times, just getting some nice mobility through the spine and in through the shoulder. Okay, we get to that last one. We're going to take the left arm all the way back, and we're going to do that all onto the other side. So we can rotate across, or just roll over onto the other side. Again, when we're setting up, we want to have that kind of the body all aligned. Again, placing the block. You don't necessarily need one, but if you find it more comfortable, please do so. Knees are bent. We're going to make sure, again, hips are stacked, knees are stacked, ankles are stacked. The left hand is going to grab a hold of the right thigh this time. And then from here, we're going to take that right hand, we're going to reach to the left side, and then open up the book. So reaching the fingers over to the right, and then all the way across again. We're going to do this 4 more times. You can even start to press through the heel of the hand, maybe getting a little bit further into that chest, and back across. When we get to that last one, you're going to stay in that open book position. We're going to bend from the elbow, and then you're going to start to reach overhead and then pull back in. Good. You're going to do that 2 more times. Inhale, reach overhead. Exhale, pull that elbow back beside the body. 1 more time. Good. We're going to open the arm up. So coming into a straight arm position again, and we're going to do that snow angel. So take your eyes to the right hand, and you're going to look as you come overhead, and just naturally our arm is going to rotate so that the palm is down. Reach overhead, open back up. Good. 2 more times. Good. Once you finish that last one, we're going to roll onto our backs. We can remove the block if we have it, and just place it off to the side. Good. We're going to roll over onto our side and then slowly come up, and we're going to come into child's pose. So whether or not you want to come all the way down to the sit bones, for some of us this might be a little bit tough, so feel free to place maybe even a blanket or even a pillow underneath. We're going to walk the arms out about shoulder width apart. And then I want you just to think about resting through the chest and relaxing the head down. Really trying to reach the fingertips towards the top of the mat. And then think about really breathing into your back body. We'll take 1 more breath here. Good, you're going to look up. We're going to place our right hand a little bit further to the right. Again, this range will be probably a little bit different for each of us. So you can take the right hand either a little bit further or keep it just on the mat. And then you're going to take the left hand right up on top, and then we're going to sink through, really walking the fingertips as far away as you can so we can get into that left side body. Take a couple breaths here. Inhale, look up. We're going to place the hands over to that left side. Again, you can come a little bit further off the mat if you like. Place the right hand right up on top. Try to inch those fingers as far as you're comfortable going, and then sinking through. And again, now we're just focusing that breath onto the right side. Inhale, look up. We're going to come to center. We're going to place the hands a little bit closer, but not quite to the knees. So think about maybe 12 inches or so. Spread the fingers nice and wide, and we're just moving from cat to cow from here. So really focusing a little bit more through that mid and upper back. So kind of rounding through the spine. Think about really rippling through each vertebrae as you slowly round up, relax the neck. And then reversing, really trying to open up that front body, draw the shoulders forward. Kind of gaze. Good, exhale, round through the spine. And then inhale, open up. Nice opening through that front body. Good, we're gonna come to neutral. We're gonna take our right hand across, or right hand onto the back of our neck, and just again, getting a little bit more into rotation of the spine, so into that mid-back. So right hand behind the neck, we're gonna inhale, open up, maybe take a breath here. And exhale, come across. Good, you're gonna repeat this 2 more times. Good, we'll swap to the other side. Right hand pushes into the mat. Take the left hand behind the neck. Inhale, open up. Exhale, come across. We'll place the left hand back down. We're going to come into our tabletop. We're going to start to take our right leg. You're going to lift it up, and we want to have it just up from the hip, so level with the hip. I'll get you to take your left hand and place it a little bit wider to the left. Start to take the right leg across the body and drop the toes over. We're going to take the right fingertips. You're going to lift that arm up, reach forward. And so you'll start to feel this nice long pull through the right side. Keep reaching. Keep that left shoulder engaged, so try not to slump through into the neck. So pressing into that floor. And either staying here, or you're going to start to continue and pivot from the right toes. Good. And kind of coming in more into a side bend, get a little bit heavy through that right hand. Take one more breath. Good. Come back into our tabletop. We're going to set for the other side. So this time, left leg comes up. We're going to bring it across the body, drop the toes down. Good. Take the right hand a little bit further to the right. Lift the left arm up, shoulder height. Reach those fingers forward. Again, keep that right shoulder engaged. And then from here, we're going to start to pivot the left toes. And then we're going to get a little bit heavy through that left arm. Good. Inhale, we're going to come back into our tabletop. And just take cat to cow for 2 breaths. Nice and slow. Again, there's that rippling through the spine. And we're going to plant the hands down, curl the toes under, and maybe even push into the feet and heels. We're going to get a bit of a stretch into the backs of the shins, into our calves a little bit. And then just back and forward until you come into your first down dog. Pedal the feet out one by one. Good. Actively press the hands into the mat and then draw your chest towards your thighs. Good. We're going to bend both knees. And then from here, we're going to start to drop the hips over as we pivot the toes towards the left. We're dropping the hips to the right. And we're going to see if we can get a little bit further into that left side stretch. Good. Come back to center. Good. Bending both knees as needed. We pivot the toes now towards the right. And maybe start to drop the hips a little bit to the left. Good, back to down dog. From here, take your right leg, lift it up. Bend at the knee, and we're going to try to open the hips to the side, come into hydrant. Good, Good, some just nice big ankle rolls, both directions. Good, come back to down dog, switching to the other side, left leg comes up. Bend the knee, open the hips to the side. Good, nice big ankle rolls. Good, back to down dog. We're gonna toe heel the feet all the way to the top of our mat. Good, come into ragdoll, relax the neck and the head. And just sway side to side. Good, some of us might wanna use blocks here, or you can even use a chair if you need to be a little bit higher. So we're gonna bend the right knee. We're gonna keep the left leg fairly straight, and then start to slowly walk the hands over to that right side. Hold here for a couple breaths. Good, slowly come back to center. We're gonna bend the left knee, straighten out the right leg, and then walk the hands over to that left side. Good, slowly come back to center. We're gonna place the hands back onto the mat. Step out into your down dog. Good, take your right leg, lift it all the way up. Big lunge forward in between the hands. Good, we're gonna plant the left hand down. We're gonna open and find that rotation towards that right thigh. Take the right hand behind the neck. And then from here, see if we can open up a little bit further, and then we're gonna come across the body and see if we can reach the right elbow towards that left hand. Again, this will look very different for each of us. Open up, and then see if you can come across the body down towards that left hand. One more time. Good, take that right hand back down to your mat. Step back into down dog. Left leg comes up. Big lunge forward. Legs about hip distance apart. We're gonna plant the right hand down onto the mat. Open up towards that left thigh. Take the hand behind the neck. Inhale, open up a little bit further. And then taking those 3 repetitions coming across the body towards that right hand. Inhale, open up. And exhale, come across. One more. Good. Bring that left hand back down, come back into down dog. Pedal the feet out one by one. Right leg comes up. Big lunge forward again. This time we're dropping the left knee down. Top of the foot comes down, and we're going to come into a kneeling position. Good. So right now the left knee is directly underneath the hip. We're going to start by kind of pushing through, or kind of rotating the pelvis a little bit. So I want you to get a little bit firm through that left glute. Get really tall, almost like someone was lifting you up through the shoulders. We're going to take our arms overhead. Good. Take the right hand lightly onto the left wrist, and we're going to reach over just gently towards that right side. Good, come slightly forward and then come up. We're going to do that reset through the pelvis from that left glute. Reach the arms up, maybe a little bit more forward. Right hand grabs a hold of the wrist and reach over to the right. Good, come all the way back down. Good, we end up in our tabletop, back into down dog. Good, left leg comes up this time. Big lunge, drop the back knee. So right knee now underneath the hip. We're gonna do that, again, pelvic tilt, firm through that right glute. Good, inhale, reach up. Good, left hand grabs a hold of the right wrist, and then gently reaching over towards that left side. Good, back to center. We're gonna reset the pelvis a little bit. So again, a little bit of that thrust forward, firm through the glutes, lift up nice and tall, reach the arms up, grab a hold of that right wrist and leaning over to the left. Good, slowly come all the way back down. Good, we're ending up into our tabletop position. We're gonna come into a kneeling. So again, maybe for some of us, I want to have blocks close or using a chair of some sort. We're gonna start with the right side. So let me kind of push over here. You're gonna kind of have the toes pointing forward again. This might look a little bit different for each of us. We may or may want blocks here. I'm gonna come right down to the floor. And we're just gonna start by pushing the hips back. You're gonna get into that groin a little bit, into the inner thigh. Good, slowly come forward and then back down. I also like to kind of have my back toes, my left toes are curled under as I sink back. Come forward, one more time. Good, come forward, we're gonna switch to the other side. Left leg comes out. Again, adjusting the foot as you need. Hands either on blocks and or onto the floor. And I'm just gonna slowly start to sink the hips back. And come up. Good, one more. Good, just holding here, take another breath. Good, slowly come up. Good, we're gonna set up into almost like a 90-90, but it might look a little bit different in terms of range for everyone. I also suggest as we're setting up, if you need a little bit of height and we're doing any of these flows, and you're getting a bit of maybe front angle or front hip pain, I do suggest coming up a little bit higher and or adjusting the angle of the front or back leg, okay? So from here, we're gonna come up into almost like a 90-90 position. So right now, left leg's forward and our right leg is back. So we're kind of working with external rotation and internal rotation through the hip. I want you to, again, maybe using blocks here, but we're gonna try to draw that right shoulder forward. So we're a little bit squared off to the front of the mat. And we're gonna use almost like a cat to cow wave. So thinking of that articulation through the vertebrae and really using breath here. So we're gonna inhale, get nice and tall. We're gonna start to lean forward, use of support again of your hands, reach forward, and then as you come up, you're gonna round through the spine. Nice inhale, come up, get nice and tall, exhale. And then I want you to think about scanning. So maybe moving a little bit more to the right, maybe moving a little bit more to the left. We're gonna do this a couple more times. Awesome, we're gonna open up, we're gonna swap to the other side. Again, you might notice also, it might feel very different from one side to the next. And we're gonna take about 4 to 5 breaths here. Again, trying to find different angles here for anything that you might need. You might be getting into some different fibers into the hip. So maybe staying in one place might feel a little bit better, but maybe just scanning and kind of checking that out. So take a big breath in. And exhale. Inhale, come all the way up. We're going to open nice and wide. Good. And just kind of being a little bit more free with the hips here. So kind of letting the hip come off as you kind of windshield wiper the legs side to side. Just kind of fleshing them out a little bit. Okay, we're going to come into a seated position. We're going to take the right hand behind us. Whenever you come into a rotation, really try to get some length first. So just notice if you come into a seated position and maybe you're a little bit more slumped over, I would suggest maybe sitting on a block or sitting on a pillow, something, just to give you a bit of height so you can really lift up, and finding rotation through that length will help us get into maybe some of those spots that are a little bit tighter. So right hand behind, left hand onto the right knee. We're gonna inhale, get a little bit taller, and then exhale, find that rotation towards the right side. Inhale to center, take a nice big breath in. Exhale through the mouth. Good, we'll take that to the other side. So right hand onto the left knee this time, right hand behind the spine. We're gonna inhale, find that length first, then exhale, see if we can find a little bit more rotation here. Come back to center. We're going to come onto our bums, and then slowly from here, we're just going to roll all the way out. Good. We'll bring our legs about hip distance apart, feet onto the mat, and then really using our breath, we're going to start to kind of flow into a bridge with our arms overhead. So we're going to press the low back into the floor, start to press into the feet. As you lift the hips up, we're going to take our arms towards the ceiling and then start to bring them overhead. Slowly start to bring the fingertips towards the ceiling and roll through the spine, come all the way down. Good, I want you to repeat this 4 more times. Press through the low back, press the hips up. As you do that, lift the arms overhead. And exhale, everything gently comes down. Good, 3 more times. Bring the feet a little bit wider. Again, just back and forth with the knees. So one knee drops towards midline as the other one opens. And back and forth. And then I'll get you to slowly roll over onto your side. We're going to gently come up to a seated position. Okay, we'll place our hands just onto the knees. And just gently close your eyes. And really just focusing in on maybe that breath, feeling the sensations of the breath. And you can always place the hands maybe onto the bottom of the rib cage and onto the belly. We'll get you to place the hands maybe onto the knees. We'll take 3 big breaths together. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Good. Inhale. And last one. We'll slowly draw our hands to heart center. And just maybe taking these last couple moments to set an intention for the rest of the week. Maybe reflecting on our yoga practice and the patience that sometimes it brings to us, clarity, mindfulness, and just maybe on those moments of stress throughout our days, we can maybe come back to that. I'm just taking a breath or a pause. And together we're going to slowly start to open our eyes up. And we finish our practice by saying namaste. Thank you so much.